Hello Paw Commandos and welcome back to the channel. This is a very exciting video for Paw General. We had the opportunity to go and interview Augusto de Oliveira, which is the dog daddy known to the world. Now this young man, he's got the style of Liberace, and if you don't know who Liberace is, people, then you need to go Google it. And he's got the skills of Cesar Millan. This guy is the real deal. I had to go, well, people ask me, why did you go? And I said, well, I want to see if he's the real deal. I want to see if this guy is the real deal. I see a lot of videos, you know, things can be edited, but I truly wanted to see if this guy was the real deal. And I wanted to understand why he does what he does. I wanted to understand why does he go all over the world in educating these owners about their dogs. And after one session of just watching this man, I truly understood why he does what he does. But before I was able to do this interview, I would like to give a shout out to Jordan, his assistant, who proofread the questions that I did ask Augusto. And I'd like to thank Max, their cameraman and their film editor. This guy was so terrific. I was simply filming around the event and just asking him questions, just chewing his ear, and the guy was just so nice and actually, to be honest with you, Max is the one that filmed the interview with the dog daddy and myself, Augusto. So thank you for doing that, Max. And if people complain about the photography, then I'm gonna blame it on you. But no, serious, Max, just thank you once again. And Jordan, thank you once again. It was just so nice just talking to you and chatting with you throughout the event. You're just a great soul and a great human being, and just thank you once more time. And my final thanks go out to the bodyguards. I wanted to interview them, but they look so damn scary that they actually did their job, and I left them alone. But they did make me feel safe around 70 dogs, so props to you guys. You look great in your suits. And like I said, I really feel safe.
Thank you once again. I had a very good day watching this. What a pleasure to watch. You have such a talent. I just have a couple questions. I know you have a schedule to attend to, so thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Who was your inspiration that drove you to go further into dog training?
Honestly, it was just, it's a hard question.
I know you spoke about your grandmother.
Yeah.
So was that
I mean, I honestly I kind of pushed it on my own, and I just knew I was meant to be working with dogs. Especially after I started, I was drawn to it. But after being in the US and people asking for help, like how, I guess the biggest thing was the change that I could see that I was making in people's lives. That to me it wasn't a big deal. To me it was like a normal thing that I did every day. But just see the change, and almost like it was very rewarding to see how grateful the families were when I worked with them. So over time it just built up even more and more to where like I knew I wanted to do it in a larger scale. But I honestly had a lot of distractions, you know, like real life things, like relationship, where the locations where I lived, distractions with more dogs and farm animals and things like that. That kind of held me back, and really actually ended up losing a dog like at the end of 2021, which is basically what really was like, you know, I realized I loved my dogs, but if I just had a bunch of dogs and I wasn't really going out there and helping more people, I was limiting myself.
That rolls into my next question is, I see you have a great compassion for all dogs. Why do you feel the need to educate humans with their dogs? Why do you feel your need to
I feel compelled when I see a lot of the dogs that are anxious, and I know it's because the owners don't understand them. So I see many situations where, you know, the dog is trying to tell you something, but you're receiving that as something completely different, and so they're not on the same page. And that anxiety gives me anxiety because I'm seeing, and I know how easy it would be to fix it if I just handle the leash, show the owner, here, this is what's going on with the dog, this is what you need to do instead. And I just know it brings peace, you know, to everybody.
That does it. If someone was to get a new dog, what advice would you give them that want to get a dog?
If they want to get a new dog,
train themselves first?
I think, yeah, that's something that people are missing, on having to be educated on what a dog really is, how to train a dog, and taking some type of course that actually teaches you to understand dogs. I know people for a fact that they get a puppy and they're afraid of the puppy because the puppy's trying to play with them, and they think the puppy's trying to attack them because they just don't know what a puppy is. the normal thing that you has is like the mouth and everything needs to be corrected, but it's not a big deal. To a family that don't have the training, they may see that as like, my dog is dangerous, which, you know, either it's gonna make them return the puppy right away, or they give it to a shelter, or give it up, or over time that behaviors will actually escalate into a bigger problem.
I'm amazed by your videos. I watch your videos. I'm an avid watcher. So thank you so much for educating people. Do you believe you have a special gift, or do you believe this is hard work on your part to achieve your talent?
That's a really hard question, honestly, because how does someone answer that they have a gift? You know what I mean?
Well, what I'm saying is, like, you naturally, dogs come to you, but with your training, did you?
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is that for me, it's hard because I don't like to say that I have a gift, because it just feels like.
That's very humble of you.
Well, it just feels weird, you know, because it feels like, I don't know. It's just,
not everyone can do what you do, so that's what I'm saying. And
so
aspect,
definitely, it's something that came very natural. Like, I was very drawn to animals in general, and they, not only dogs, all the animals as well, but they respond to me like, you know, really easily, and then people would always notice. Even though in Brazil, dog training in general is not a big thing, just the fact that animals responded to me, it was definitely noticeable. People knew. They just didn't see it the same way that they see here.
I have one question. This is for all the fans out there. How many times have you been bitten? And you never, if you do, you never look scared and you never react.
Right. I have. I don't know how many times exactly. I would say not that many times. I'll say in a year, maybe a half a dozen times. It's always on the hands. Never been bitten anywhere else. It's always small nips. There's been times where, in a couple of my videos, that I was bit, that was blood, and people just didn't notice because the way I just moved to holding the leash to this hand was bleeding, but people couldn't even see it. But it was more of a, you know, just dogs that lunge and being reactive. A lot of times it's really never when I'm handling the dog as much and that I feel like I can trust them already. It's during that process of the owner handling the dog to me. Sometimes it's a lot of distractions. I'm also usually working with 30 dogs at once. A lot of dogs are reactive.
I watch all these people and I see how you correct them, but then I see them go back to their bad habits, like when you correct them how to bark or the touch.
Yeah.
And they allowed them to bark even after you taught them. Do you run into that too a lot? Is it the humans that need retraining?
Definitely the humans that need the most training. You can see me going around many times, because a lot of times people, they want the behavior to be stopped.
Yes.
They want, like, my dog won't stop barking, and so when I show them that I'm showing them how you can stop them from barking, but for you to maintain that, you have to stop them from barking every time.
Right?
So basically, you have to, like, almost be prompt to react accordingly when the dog, you know, does a behavior that you don't want. And so I feel like a lot of times it takes a lot of repetition. I feel overall my clients do well because they really invest their time, you know, the money, a lot of times the distance for them to come to my classes, and I'm not rarely available in one location, so I feel like that is one benefit that I have, because when people come, they really want to get the help, and they wait, you know, so they're more committed, I would feel like.
Well, I talked to a lot of people around here, and they drove all around the state just to see you. So thank you once again. I know you have pressing time. I very appreciate it. Many blessings to you.
Thank you so much.
Sir.
Hey. Savannah, come. Savannah, come. Come. Go back. Come. Priscilla.
What Augusto taught me was that you must implement a 5-step two-way system for yourself and for your dogs. That consists of 1, structure. You need structure in your life. You need structure in your dog's life. 2, a regiment. Your dog needs a certain type of regimentation to learn discipline. You need a certain type of regimentation to learn discipline within your own life and within your dog's life. Number 3, consistency. Nothing in this world works if you're not consistent at doing it. I can wish I want to be a bodybuilder, but that's not going to make me muscles. The only thing that's going to make me muscles is consistency. 4, correct. Correct the problem when it happens. Correct your problem in your life when it happens. Do the opposite, and when the dog does something, correct them. Number 5, and lastly, reaffirm. Reaffirm what your dog does with praise, and reaffirm yourself when you do a goal or when you have an accomplishment. Reaffirm yourself and say, good job, you deserve it. When your dog does it, same thing. Good job, you deserve it, I'm proud of you. And finally, the thing that I'm going to live by and I'm going to implement, because I do have a dog that suffers PTSD as I do myself. Remember, 22 lives are lost a day through veterans, through suicide. That's 22 too many. And remember, PTSD is for real. And finally, what I want you to know is, do not let your dogs live in their fear. Understand their fear and help them with it by correction. I want to thank you guys for watching to the end. Remember, paw that like button, subscribe to the channel for future videos. We love you here. Stay blessed and be earth strong.